Yes, this is me in my natural environment. My job is very unusual. I make the joke that I get paid to play with old drugs. There's a certain scent that all of these old drugs and plant products create. It's kind of a musty smell, not really a bad smell, but just a very distinct smell. So I'll have to come home and take a shower right away because I smell like, you know, a 1920s Bath and Body Works. My name is Stephen Hall. I'm the curator here at the History of Pharmacy Museum. We're a part of the College of Pharmacy. The museum has been here since 1966, and we have one of the world's largest collections of kind of pharmacy antiques and pharmacy history. We have a whole lot of items, probably about 100,000 pieces or so in total, like just an extensive collection. Most of it is 1850 to 1950 or so. We have some that's older, some that's newer, but generally in that time frame. This owl drugstore had its name because there was a great horned owl that lived in the rafters of the building. So it was sort of the shop pet, if you will. We'll do 2 trips. I'll come back for the second half of the group here. Yep. See if you can finish the jingle. Plop, plop.
Fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is.
So we have stuff from that ad campaign. We have a stack of prescriptions there from the Prohibition era. I'll give you 3 guesses what they're for.
Alcohol.
Looks like you only needed 1 guess. A very interesting historical parallel is medical marijuana today. It's a, you know, it's right. It's a, you know, history does kind of repeat itself. There's a very similar discussion going on today. It's outlandish to think that beer would have done anything for diabetes, but it's a very interesting historical tidbit there. But I promise you that beer does not make diabetes better. I'm not a pharmacist, but I know that. There's things like heroin and terpene hydrate, which maybe you shouldn't take.
If you thought something was effective and you put it on the market, you're talking pre-1906, there was really no regulation whatsoever, really the Wild West. You're talking about if you had a bottle of Joe Schmo's cure-all, you didn't have to list what was on it, any of the ingredients, you didn't have to prove it was safe or effective, you can just sell it. Around 1906, we had the Pure Food and Drug Act, and that changed. At least we had to list what was in the ingredients on these drugs. Every drug has a side effect. You're putting something in your body that's not supposed to be there. It has a benefit, and I think that's what we've learned over time, that just because a drug is effective doesn't necessarily mean that it's safe.
The most rewarding part of my job, by far, is people coming to see it. Because what we're doing here, and what all museums are doing, is a public service. We want to engage the public, we want to educate. It's an informal learning setting, but it's no less important than a formal learning setting. If you look at the maker's mark here, I mean, it's from the Knight company that made soda fountain fixtures. We want people to come and enjoy and learn from what we have here. This is the Upjohn Disneyland Pharmacy Collection. Some folks may have actually been there. There was a pharmacy museum sponsored by the Upjohn Company. They were a drug manufacturer from Kalamazoo, Michigan. The building was there from 1955 until 1970, and we acquired all of these items a couple of years ago, and so now they're on permanent display here in the College of Pharmacy. It's something that not a lot of people know about, so it's fun to sort of be able to work with this history that's so specialized. So anyone who comes through here is going to learn something new. These are called show globes, sort of an old-time symbol of the practice of pharmacy. We draw the parallel to the barber's pole. They would serve the purpose of helping people to find their way in town. And this is in a time when most people could not read. So a show globe would sit in a window like this, and it would let people know that that was where the apothecary was, or the doctor. So the druggist often would act as the veterinarian or the dentist. We have dental extraction tools, which are just as unsettling as you're picturing.
I thought it was really fascinating. I love antiquities. I love seeing the beautiful jars. Growing up, we had apothecary jars in our home, so it was fun to see the context of them. They weren't quite as ornate and beautiful, but I have fond memories of them.
But his bottle says it's from Tucson, AT, not AZ.
Arizona Territory.
It's because we weren't a state yet. It was the Arizona Territory. This is AT.
I think anybody would be interested in it because, I mean, all of us have had to deal with a pharmacy at some point in our lives. And to think back that in Arizona, particularly in its early days, the pharmacist was probably the only medical person in a town. That was their full medical and healthcare service. So it's really interesting to see those items here.
We have a mint-flavored cod liver oil. But by far the worst one is we have a bottle of chocolate-flavored cod liver oil. And I can't speak from experience because Lord knows I don't want to try it, but I can't imagine that the chocolate would have really done anything to mask the gross, fishy taste of it. Are you the soda jerk then? Can I? Come on.
Soda jerk.
There's bits of history that are very amusing. But I think sometimes people are hesitant to address that, hesitant to embrace the humor that comes in history. They want history to be a serious thing, and it should be. But there are parts of it that are just objectively funny. People in Winslow like to stand, right? Yeah. Specifically on corners, but what we're doing is we're preserving a branch of history that is, you know, kind of off the beaten path. But just because it's not as commonly known doesn't make it any less important than any other branch of history.
It's a tribute to our forefathers, and it's a nice testament to see how far we've come. And honestly, looking back on it, it's really sort of amazing all that they were able to do. Granted, it wasn't always the best thing, but the mere fact that they could produce so many drugs back then with much less science and scientific tools and technology, it's incredible.
And to be the guy that gets to interact with all this stuff, it is a very unusual job and one that is often very rewarding for me.